Hi, I'm Denim Verona, and tonight I'll be interviewing presidential candidate and former California Senator Vinnie Vu, running for the Independent Party.
Good evening, Mr. Verona. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Good evening, Vinnie Vu. Let's take a seat and start this interview. Some candidates have accused you of being too tough on immigration. What exactly are your plans to deal with the many illegal immigrants that cross our border each year?
Well, my plans to deal with these illegal immigrants that cross our border annually, like you said, are to tighten the border between our beloved United States and Mexico, with more troops to stop the recent violence that has flowed on our borders.
Well, once you tighten the borders down, what are you going to do about the many illegal immigrants that already live in the United States today?
Well, those illegal immigrants that are already here, I plan to have them sign up for an identity card so that we can keep track of them and make sure they don't do any illegal activities.
Well, that's very interesting. See how the voters feel about that. As you know, the economy is one of the biggest concerns to American citizens today. How are you going to create jobs and get the economy moving again?
Well, once I'm elected president, which I'm sure I will be, I will create more jobs by producing a more eco-friendly method of transportation, which will be electric trains going throughout our country. I also plan on investing some of the money for greener jobs financially and environmentally.
Well, we've heard the green jobs plan before. How does yours differ from what the current president promised back in 2008?
Well, let me make this straight, Mr. Verona. I will not make those same mistakes as Obama did. I've already invested in small businesses, and I will continue to do so once I'm in the White House.
Well, let's move on to another topic that has been a key issue to many voters. How do you feel about Obama's healthcare plan, and what do you plan to do about it?
First, I will repeal Obamacare, as well as Medicare and Medicaid, since they have not really worked for the American people. I believe we Americans should have the typical doctor-patient relationship with no government interference.
Well, for foreign policy, to date, over 16,000 U.S. soldiers have been killed or wounded serving in Afghanistan. How are you going to deal with the current problems in the Middle East?
Well, with that Middle East crisis, I'm planning to return at least 2/3 of our troops that are in Afghanistan back home, and have 1/3 stay there to maintain stability in that region.
And when do you plan to start withdrawing troops from Afghanistan?
I'm planning to start them once I'm elected president. I want those troops home to see their families. Parents need to be reunited with their kids.
Well, you said in past interviews you believe that education should be state-ran, that the federal government should have no control over it. Do you still feel this way?
Yes, I do believe that education is a matter of states. Nowhere in the Constitution has given the government power to do such. And I believe that it's up to the states to deal with education. And I also plan to repeal Bush's No Child Left Behind plan. It was a failure, and it will never work.
Well, we're talking about states' rights. How do you feel about laws to legalize marijuana, such as the ones California have tried to pass in recent years?
Like I said, that's states' rights. It's up to the states to deal with these marijuana issues. The federal government doesn't know what's best for the states. So I think it's up to the states to deal with that stuff.
Well, it seems we're all out of time for any more questions. Thank you, Mr. Vu, and I wish you the best of luck in the upcoming elections.